Good afternoon. It's just a little after 2, so we need to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for coming, and we're excited to be here today for this celebration. And I would like to introduce to you Gary Salamido, Vice President of Government Affairs for the NC Chamber.
Thank you, Libby. Oops, sorry. It's a real privilege to be here today. This is a real opportunity for the North Carolina Chamber and the Chamber Foundation to come out into the communities and to meet with folks who are really making a difference in their communities every day. The NC Works Certified Work Ready Community is a collaborative effort. The North Carolina Chamber Foundation serves as a certifying agent, where we work with Department of Public Instruction, the community colleges, Department of Commerce, and the Governor's Office in a strategic partnership to help communities and to help facilitate and acknowledge communities who have done some really hard work. And you've been at it here for a couple of years. And you know, when we look at communities and what it takes to be certified work ready, we read a book a couple of years ago that, as we did our strategic planning, Jim Clifton's book, it's The Coming Jobs War. And in The Coming Jobs War, Clifton talks about tribal leaders in a community, and that nothing really takes place until the tribal leaders of the community, the local leaders of the community, decide to come together and make a change in their community. The Certified Work Ready process, the Certified Work Ready designation, requires just that. A lot of folks in this room came together and said, we want to tell the world, we want to tell the state, we want to tell our competitors that we're ready to go. The National Certified Work Ready Community Project is just that designation. It requires local leadership, it requires commitment, and it requires time, and it requires a vision. In every industry, every employers are looking all around to find workers. They're looking to secure, train them, and retrain them so that their communities remain vibrant and healthy, not only for the near term, but for the long term. To that end, in 2005, the community college system got together with the Department of Commerce and talked about how do we get communities to have the National Work Ready Certificate? How do we increase the number of young people, of people of all ages in our communities that are certified under the Career Readiness Certificate? So they started a pilot project with the Down East Alliance that NC Works in 2013 took over, and then they engaged the North Carolina Chamber Foundation as a strategic partner to acknowledge and to put the program out for more and more folks to take place. Now there's 27 communities that are certified work ready. Caldwell County was number 18. Our goal for the end of the year is 30. We just are embarking on another 5-year strategic plan. In the next 5 years, we hope to have all 100 counties certified. But Caldwell County is in the top 20 and has a strategic competitive advantage over the rest of the state as being there early, knowing what it takes to get here, and giving yourselves the opportunity to do some things that other counties who haven't put their workforce in necessarily in the same spot that you all have in a real competitive advantage. It aligns education, workforce, development, and industry, and to identify and fill a skills gap. So you looked in your community, you looked at where your skills were, you looked at where your gaps were, and then you identified a team of people who developed a plan that says not only are we going to address it, we're going to excel at it, and we're going to try and get others to identify us as work-ready community. The end results are more skilled and employed workers, more prosperous businesses, healthier communities, and a secure future for your community and for our state. Caldwell County has demonstrated its commitment to this workforce, so it's my pleasure today to be here on behalf of the North Carolina Foundation to award Caldwell County a North Carolina Certified Work Ready Community designation. So if I could ask Deborah to come up, I have the certificate, and we could also ask Dr. Stone and Dr. Porch. So on behalf of the North Carolina Chamber Foundation, the Governor's Office, Department of Public Instruction, Department of Commerce, and NC Works, we designate Caldwell County a certified work-ready community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. I know that's a lot of work has gone into that, and we certainly appreciate being number 18 in the state to have that designation. My topic today is about how we as Caldwell County Schools are preparing our students for the jobs of tomorrow. Before I do that, I'd like to introduce two of our Board of Education members who are here. We have our chairman, Darrell Pennell, if you'll wave Darrell, and we have Dottie Darcy on the Caldwell County Board of Education. How does Caldwell County Schools prepare our students for the jobs of the future? You know, oftentimes you'll hear that we are now dealing with students in our schools who will be applying for jobs that even haven't been invented yet. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, our vision in Caldwell County Schools is to make sure that every child graduates from high school prepared for whatever they decide to do next in life. Whether that's the university, whether that's to go to our wonderful community college, or whether it's to go straight into the workforce, our mission is to make sure we give them the tools to be successful. Upon high school graduation, our students should not only be able to demonstrate good workplace habits such as reliability, punctuality, customer service, high-quality task completion, but also should have a skill set that allows them to face the challenges of tomorrow. And some of those challenges of tomorrow are the same challenges of today. How to have good teamsmanship, strong communication, and problem-solving skills. When you look at the area of teamsmanship or teamwork, this is something that's been constant in Caldwell County Schools for some time. Our students collaborate with others, they work in groups, they think outside of the box using their creativity and building upon the creativity of others. They are very accepting of others' viewpoints and different viewpoints because they see that as an opportunity to incorporate that into a better product or to a better creation. Our students have opportunities to develop those skills through our STEM curriculum, our science, technology, engineering, and math, which we offer in grades 6 through 12, Project Lead the Way in collaboration with Duke University, which is a national engineering curriculum that is offered in all of our middle schools and in 2 of our high schools. Our students also learn design process. They work in teams during the Project Lead the Way to complete engineering projects with robotics and 3D printing. The other skill that our students are learning every day is how to clearly and concisely communicate. And our students work on their communication skills as they network with others in the classroom, and they know that the communication of the future can be verbal, can be face by face, or it can be virtual. It can be local or it can be global. So we're very, very much in tune to making sure that our kids have the strong communication and networking skills. They develop these skills every day in our classrooms through their interaction with other classmates, with their staff, our staff, and particularly we're very strong in our curriculum courses as well as our career and technical education courses. In those courses in all, we require students to use a variety of formats to communicate, whether it's verbal, written, or virtual. We also work very hard on our problem-solving skills for students because we know that those allow employees to evaluate information, to make effective decisions, and to resolve issues. Problem-solving is the foundation of our career technical education courses, and it is woven into every single one of them. Our CTE courses in this county offer hands-on involvement with students where they have an opportunity to make and build projects. For example, carpentry are very hands-on, masonry, electrical, plumbing. They're creating the products. We also do this through apparel design, foods, nutrition, and through the development of apps or applications or apps for our phone and computer engineering. Our students are very active in learning problem-solving skills because as they arise, our students work with each other to work through those problems. The types of learning environments provide problem-solving activities and prepare our students for the careers of today as well as the careers of the future. I want to brag about our CTE program. Our CTE pathways were developed with this business community in mind, and our courses are built with that in mind. We're here to create a specific set of skills for the industries of Caldwell County of today and of tomorrow. Our CTE pathways offer, let me just give you an example of one, such as healthcare. A high school student in Caldwell County can enter and who has an interest in the medical field. We have plenty of opportunities for them to take courses to advance them. They can begin by starting as sophomores by taking the health team relations, where they learn about the medical field and about terminology and ethics. The next course would be Health Science 1. They focus on anatomy and disease identification. Next, they move to Health Science 2, where they learn CPR, first aid certification, and learn about the healthcare trends and the fundamentals of wellness and infection control. And finally, the fourth course, they can take the nursing fundamentals, which will prepare the students for a career in the medical field, and in this case will prepare the kids to take the National Nurse Aid Registry Assessment so they can earn their CNA certificate while still in high school. And the good news for this particular healthcare, as well as all of our CTE concentrators, if you have 4 courses in a row, then you're considered a CTE concentrator. And for the last 3 years, our graduation rate for those students has been a 99%. So when students find that particular career opportunity and take those courses, they stick with it, and they graduate from high school with certificates. The North Carolina Department of Public Instruction provides funding for our CTE program, and for those CTE concentrators, the ones who take 4 courses in line, to take the ACT Work Keys Assessment. That assessment is 3 tests: reading for information, applied math, and locating information. And for students who pass all 3 of those tests, they receive a career readiness certificate based on their level of proficiency, silver, gold, or platinum. Not only does the Work Keys Assessment measures workplace readiness skills, and it certainly helps students to gain employment in our community. In 2013, or since 2013, we have issued 937 career readiness certificates to our graduating seniors who are CTE concentrators. We also provide for our students in our CTE programs to give them an opportunity to live some of those skills. We have competitions at the state level. And last week, I'm happy to say that 15 of our students participated in state competitions, and 3 received the very top notice in the state for the Skills USA competition in Greensboro. And 2 of those students will have received first place in their event, which is plumbing and electronics technology, and those students will be going to the national competitions in June. So how is Caldwell County preparing our students for the future jobs? We're trying to take our cue from the community. We take our cue from the business community, what it is you need and what it is you see as the skills that our future students need, or your future workplace workers need. And so we're trying to meet that need. We do that through our collaboration with the community college, with the EDC, and certainly with the Chamber of Commerce. We're in a good community because that works so seamlessly here in Caldwell County, and we're very fortunate for that. But more importantly, our kids are more fortunate that they live in a work-ready community. So thank you. And let me introduce Mark Porch, the president for Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute.
Thank you, Dr. Stone, and good evening, afternoon. This day's going to run together for me. This is the start of our celebration week, and I was telling the group at lunch that we have our nurses pinning ceremony tonight and multiple graduation ceremonies a little bit later in the week, and then I think it concludes this week, at least on Saturday, with our early college graduation ceremony. So we're certainly excited about that. We also have a couple of trustees with us this afternoon I'd like to introduce to you. Mr. Alvin Daughtridge is in the back. And where did Ann get to? Miss Ann Smith. And I think that may be it unless someone else snuck in. Thank you so much for being here. And I was asked to speak this afternoon to you about the importance of aligning education with our business community. And what better example do we have than this recognition today, with the recognition of Caldwell County being a work-ready community. And this recognition, in my mind, is the result of one word, and that's partnerships. The EDC, the school system, the chamber, business and industry partners, municipalities, the college, and many, many others work together every single day to ensure that we as a county have a competitive workforce. And I think this achievement represents the collaborative spirit that's inherent in everything that we do in Caldwell County. I say this all the time, and I know I'm biased, but Caldwell County is a special place. Members of this community come together in so many ways and work with a common objective of making lives better for our citizens. But there's more work to be done. We all know that there's a skills gap in our economy. We hear it every single day. Employers are having great difficulty finding qualified workers. In our county, in Caldwell County, we've taken that discussion even further. And we're talking not only about a skills gap, but we're also talking about an interest gap. Employers in our community have jobs. We have programs at the college and in the school system. But our programs are struggling for students in some cases. So we realized that first and foremost that we need to get students interested in some of those careers in the technical arena before we can truly address the skills gap. And the only way to do that is to have a strong connection between education and the business community. Our business partners have to be all in. They have to be engaged at every level. And in turn, our educational partners have to listen to business and industry and to be responsive to their needs. So we as a community have to continue to strengthen these ties and work even harder. Great things are happening in Caldwell County. And we just heard last week from Deborah that our unemployment rate in this county is 4.6%. And we are to be congratulated as a community for all the hard work that's gone into that. And we have more people working in this community than we've had in the past 9 years. Tremendous, tremendous accomplishments. But we can't become complacent, and we can't stop there. And I do want to talk just a minute to kind of follow on Dr. Stone's lead and share with you some of the work from the college's perspective that we're doing to align the education needs with the business community. And when I think about the college's role with workforce development, I see it as being tied together in a way that's inseparable. And I see us having dual responsibilities. We have an obligation not only to students, but we also have an obligation to employers. Our job is to help students find good jobs and to help employers find good workers. So we have to work hand in glove and make sure that, number one, that we understand the needs of the businesses in our area, and number two, that we ensure that our programs meet their needs. And how do we do that at CCC and TI? First and foremost, meeting the needs of business and industry is mission critical. The college's mission has 3 tenets. One of those is to provide comprehensive resources to business and industry. And I tell our faculty and staff all the time, it doesn't say that we provide some resources. It says that we provide comprehensive resources. So we engage as an active partner with all the people in this room and many others across this community. And to take the commitment to maintaining our ties to business and industry just a little bit further, I want you to notice that the name of our institution is Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute. And even though it's a mouthful, and it arguably may be the longest name of any of the 58 community colleges in North Carolina, we keep Technical Institute in our name because it's in our DNA. Technical training has been a part of this institution since we opened the doors in 1964. And we don't want to lose that focus on preparing students for the workforce. Some of the other things that we try to do, we certainly try to maintain constant connection with our employers. We have folks, many of whom are in this room, who are out in the business community every single day, talking to business owners and managers to make sure that we understand what their interests are and developing relationships of trust with the people who we are trying to provide future employees for. Business and industry representatives serve on our advisory committees. So we hear directly from you and other business partners, excuse me, in our community about what you need in a future workforce. So in that regard, employers play an active role in our curriculum design. We also work with our business partners to offer work-based learning opportunities for students every single semester through co-op and other work-based learning opportunities, apprenticeships. We've also developed customized training programs, the first of which many of you may remember. Our first institute was called the IT Institute, and it was developed specifically for Google. To date, the college has developed 15 of those institutes to provide business and industry with qualified workers. Lastly, I'll share with you our partnership with our public school system, in my opinion, is second to none. Last year, 862 Caldwell County students took at least one college class. Those Caldwell County students earned 9,627 college credit hours, 97 associate degrees, and 7 certificates. That's just a tremendous, tremendous accomplishment and such a great opportunity for those high school students to be able to take those classes while they're in high school. So here's the bottom line. It's critical that education and the business community are strategically aligned. If we ensure that our workers have access to the best skills and the best training, employers can be confident that we can provide them with a pool of talented workers that can help them succeed now and into the future. So we're going to keep working hard. Again, there's a lot of work to be done with that alignment, but we're going to continue to do the things that we need to do to connect business with education. I'll turn it over to Ms. Deborah Murray.
Well, they didn't ask me to talk about Caldwell County, so we'll be out of here very quickly. I want to recognize some of our community leaders, those who are here on a somewhat political basis, not because they're political, but because they care about this community. And in keeping with what you have said, both Dr. Stone and Dr. Porch, we have an absolutely wonderful community that works hand in glove on so many different levels. I'd like to recognize, first of all, from Granite Falls, Dr. Burns. Where are you, Dr. Burns? Council person there. Would like to recognize from Lenore, Mayor Gibbons, and Ben Willis from the council, and Scott Hildebrand, the manager. Would like to recognize from Cages Mountain, Ronnie Setzer. Ronnie, you're here. Christopher Todd. Would like to recognize from Hudson, Mayor Janet Winkler, and Ann Smith, she's here wearing a number of hats, and Rebecca Bentley, town manager. Also from Senator Burr's office, we have Mike Finley. Mike, thank you for coming. And Clay McCreary from Meadows' office. And I'm sorry, I'm sure that I should have your name on here. We have a new member in our community, and name? Jordan Wisnett. We give everybody a good opportunity to participate. So if you took a snapshot of Caldwell County 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, and you took it today, you would not recognize that it's the same county on a whole lot of different levels. In 2010, we lagged in a lot of categories. Job opportunities, they were at minimum at best. Graduation rates were well below the state average, barely approaching 70%. Literally thousands upon thousands of people were without work, and unemployment was at 17%. Many of North Carolina's counties were struggling, but we happen to be in a league all of our own in a couple of categories. Now, as the county's economic development director, I can tell you that without a qualified and credentialed workforce, we may as well just go home. And that's the one sentence that answers what they asked me to speak about today. That is the significance of this certification. But I want to go a little bit further and tell you this. In 2009, 2010, a handful of people began to meet informally to try to meet a need. And wherever there was a resource, you saw the same handful of people, passionate and dedicated, there talking, reasoning, battling the issue of workforce development in Caldwell County. It was a big, important topic across this nation, but for us, we were concerned with here at home. And those folks began to look for opportunities, ways to partner, and that is the key word for today. Ways to strategize and ways to implement workforce development solutions without leaving it to some larger governmental group. It is Caldwell County, and always has been, that we take care of our own issues and we work to make ourselves better without reliance on an outside group. In this particular case, there was a team, and I'd like to introduce you to this team, and they don't know I'm going to do this. But that team, the small handful of people, you need to know that this is that in the beginning. Donna Bean, if you'll stand up and just stay standing for a few minutes. Donna Bean now works for the city of Lenoir, but at the time she was my main partner in crime back then with the community college. Elaine Lockhart, she also with the community college and in charge of continuing ed. William Howard. William, where are you? Stand up, sir. William at the time was the vice chair of the EDC, became chair later. Deborah Ashley Smith is not here, but she was at many of these meetings too, as the president of the chamber and myself. Now, that team has expanded and contracted over the years to push us ahead on a lot of different fronts. And the first front was Caldwell is hiring, which has everything to do with what we do here every day. Caldwell is hiring is having its 14th event next week on the 18th, and we have 50 employers who will be there with 2,700 jobs available within 20 minutes of where you sit. All because our economy is growing and expanding and needs more folks, better trained, to come and pick up and work. Now, we've also added, because of Caldwell is hiring, an army of partners. And they include the chamber, and they include NC Works. They include the school system. They include all of our employers. And 4 years after that, after we started that in 2010, it morphed and it took on something else. And we started something called Hired Ed. And we then added the CTE program to our working relationship with industry and jobs. And under the leadership of Kathy Jo Eckerd, we incorporated the curriculum sides of public education as well as community college. 2 years ago, we decided to go a bit further. And we formed a committee to attain the designation of a 100% certified work-ready community. And we believed that this should be done because it was a demonstration of our ability to compete and succeed. Our commitment to continued and persistent workforce development, and a testament to our community's preparedness for work in the 21st century. I want to invite the team that accomplished this to join me up here as we talk about what they've done to do that. Dr. Stone? Part of the certified work-ready community requirements is that you have an increasing high school graduation rate. And we have grown from the 70s to nearly 92% graduation. The hard part for this is going to be seeing significant growth past 92.
It's a little harder.
It is much harder. But we thank you and appreciate that effort. Stay up here, please, sir. Dr. Porch. The community college team has been the heart of this effort, with above and beyond efforts from some individuals. And I would like for them to come up too. Donna? Still, she'll always be part of the community college team as far as I'm concerned. Elaine? Those two handled it on the administrative level. Brandy Dunlap? She seemed to almost single-handedly target and achieve every CRC category that at the end, when we got close to 100% certification, she nailed them, and she got them for us. And yes, these folks all had lots of help, but these were key for us. The CTE program. Our high school CTE program was championed by Kathy Jo Eckerd, and now Libby leads them. Libby, please join us up here. The EDC board. William, as former chairman, please join us, sir. And Ann, as current chairman, please join us. And then we have our educator workforce development partners in the field. I won't get them all, but these are important to us. Ben Willis, Sarah Green, Jeff Holman, Rick Shue. Now there's lots of other folks that work with these folks, But these guys deserve a huge round of applause because they are the folks who did the heavy lifting and carried the water to be able to get us to this moment. Thank you, guys. Part of Caldwell County's legacy is our community involvement and partnerships. And everything that we do depends on everybody in this room, but in particular, just the word partnership means everything to us for our future. And with that, Ms. Barbara Armstrong.
Wow. That doesn't leave a whole lot left to say, except I am just so impressed. I was speaking briefly with Gary with the North Carolina Chamber, and he was sharing with me the application that was submitted back in 2015, initiated by Deborah Murray. And boy, if there's anyone that needs a standing ovation today, it's Deborah Murray. And yes, I am. My hat's off. Absolutely, hands down. A year ago, Caldwell County to me was a place that I would stop for cheaper gas on my way south of Watauga County. And one of the very first people I met when I came to Caldwell County